Books make you hope. Books make you dream. Books make you laugh. Books make you scream. This is the Books That Make You show, discussing books with authors and experts, unraveling the inner pages of all the books that help make us who we are.
Welcome to the Books That Make You show. I'm your host, Desiree Duffy, and we're talking about books that make you pack your bags and take off to Kauai for the incredible Kauai Writers Conference. Check out the awesome setting on that, huh? We're talking with David Katz. He is the director of the Kauai Writers Conference. Now, if you're a book lover and you have a love for story and immersing yourself in the written word, then putting pen to paper and writing your own book may be a dream that you have. Or perhaps you've already written a book or books, or are curious about writing for TV or for film. No matter what kind of writer you are, attending writers' conferences and finding your tribe is critical. And the Kauai Writers Conference is set in one of the most beautiful and inspiring locations in the entire world. My motto after meeting David Katz and being introduced to this conference, if you're going to go to a writers' conference, why not go to the one in Kauai? It brings together authors, poets, agents, literary aficionados. It offers this incredible blend of masterclasses, intimate panel discussions, plus one-on-one sessions. The conference is designed to inspire writers of all levels, fostering growth and innovation in the literary arts. And 2024 marks the 10th anniversary of the conference. David, hello. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Desiree. Thanks for having me.
I can hear the birds calling to me. They're calling me.
Yeah, we have so many beautiful songbirds here on Kauai.
Oh, I can imagine. Okay, I've never been to Kauai. I got to admit that. I've been to the Big Island. And that was it, actually. So can you help further set the stage, if you will? What's it like there? What's the environment like?
Sure. I think, and many people think, that Kauai is the most beautiful of all the Hawaiian islands. And some people go so far as to say it's the most beautiful island in the world. I haven't been to all of them, so I couldn't say for sure, but it's got to be up there. It's incredibly gorgeous. It's extremely varied also. On the North Shore, it's really like rainforest climate with just incredible abundance of tropical plants of all kinds. And in the middle of the island, Mount Waialeale is the rainiest spot on Earth. It gets like 500 inches of rain a year. But on the west side of the island, just a few miles away, it's desert climate with like 10 inches of rain a year. So you can be down on the beach, beautiful blue sky, sunny day, and there are these waterfalls and rivers of clear, fresh water flowing all the time. And you have to wonder, well, wait a minute, this island is only 30 miles across and it's sunny in here. Where are these rivers coming from? Well, they're coming from at the top of Mount Waialeale is the highest swamp in the world. The way the mountain is shaped, it's like a funnel, and the trade winds come from the east and the northeast, and they reach the funnel and they are swept up, and that sudden rise in altitude causes them to drop their moisture on top of the mountain, where it collects in like this giant sponge and of many square miles of soil. And from there, it just flows down constantly, creating hundreds of waterfalls, beautiful rivers. And it's just, so it's the Hawaiians, when they first came here, must have thought this was just paradise. And it still is in many ways. It's so beautiful and relatively unspoiled compared to, say, Oahu or Maui.
Yeah, it sounds magical. And that's exactly what I've heard from so many people, that it is the most beautiful island. And it's perfect for a writer's conference, a writer's retreat. So many different writers like to write in different environments. I love to write while it's raining. The sound of rain is just inspiring. And you could also write on the beach there, or if you wanted to, you could write in the swamp. It sounds like it's really got something for every type of writer.
It does. It does. The conference itself is a very full program.
Yeah.
So while you're at the conference, you'll probably be mostly at the resort. Some people like to come a few days early or leave a few days late so that they can just have time to explore the island. And there are also sometimes during the conference when people can, take off for an afternoon or a morning and go enjoy the island. But it's set in a very beautiful spot. It's gained a reputation over the last few years as, in many people's opinion, the premier writing and publishing event in the whole United States. And I think a big part of the reason is that it's on Kauai, and so everybody wants to come. When it first started about 10 years ago, we wondered, gee, could we get any authors to come all the way here to Kauai? But now it's become the party that everybody wants to go to in the upper echelons of the literary world. We kind of have our choice of authors, including many of the top, most loved, biggest selling authors, to come. And we choose them. Now, I think this is an important place to start explaining what makes this special, because so many of the writers have gone home and told their friends what a wonderful time they've had here. So many of them want to come. This allows us to be very selective. So we've developed really two main criteria for the authors that we invite. Number one, of course, they have to be great writers. Whatever genre it is, they have to be among the very best in that, whether it's fiction or memoir or nonfiction or screenplay or poetry. They're the best of the best. And number two, they also have to be outstandingly good and caring teachers of writing. And you would be surprised how seldom those two things go together.
Well, and that's because you do these master classes. And
yes.
So you have master classes, and then you have the conference. So really, you have several days where it starts off with the learning and that instruction with a lot of these authors. And we can talk about some of the fantastic people you have on your lineup. And then the really cool thing is then it's this full-on writers conference too. So there's education from other folks within the industry, right?
Yes, exactly. The whole event is divided into three phases. Mm-hmm. The first 4 days are a series of master classes. And we have about 20 different classes. Mostly they're on different aspects of the craft of writing, different genres, a couple on poetry, a couple on fiction, nonfiction, screenwriting. And so you can do up to 2 of these master classes. You could do a morning class and an afternoon class. And then the next 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, are the conference itself, where we have more than 40 different sessions, hour-long sessions, that you can pick and choose among. These are panel discussions, many workshops, lectures. And then the next aspect of it is a series of one-on-one meetings with literary agents and publishers. We have many of the top literary agents and publishers. And again, we applied some very intentional criteria to which ones we invited, the literary agents and the publishers all need to be, first of all, prominent in their fields, well-connected, highly successful, so that if they take you on, it really means a lot. And secondly, they have to be eagerly looking for new clients, for new authors to take on. We don't want agents to come just because they want to come to Kauai. Although, of course, they do want to come to Kauai, but we want those who are really eagerly looking for new voices, new talent to represent.
And that's so important. As somebody who's been around the industry a while, I've run into the agents where it's a matter of, what can you do for me? Are you going to cover my hotel and my lodging? And people are going to pay to pitch me. And, oh, by the way, I'm not taking submissions right now, but sure, I'll come to your conference. Well, to your point, that really doesn't benefit the writers who are there. So what you're doing in bringing the top publishers and agents and the top authors is really amazing. And yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's a win-win situation, right? The top agents, publishers.
It is. And there have been many people who have attended and have met their agents here, signed deals with their agents, and wound up getting published. And there also are many people who have found other channels of publication. Getting published by one of the big five publishers, it's incredibly selective. Mm-hmm. They get vastly more manuscripts to look at than they could ever really publish.
Sure.
So, it used to be that self-publishing was regarded as an inferior choice. Mm-hmm. Like only if you couldn't get published by a real publisher would you resort to self-publishing. But that's not the case anymore. Many very successful, very well-known authors have gotten their start through self-publishing and through what has come to be known as hybrid publishing. There are companies that do kind of a mix of self-publishing together with curating your work, editing it, designing the book and the cover and marketing it for you. So we have good representatives of hybrid publishing here as well.
And that's such a true point. A lot of times I meet authors who are incredible authorpreneurs. They're the type of unique unicorn who can do it all. But then you have authors who might not have the time or the know-how to do it all. And having that hybrid press behind them who can help them to basically publish their book and take off a lot of that work. I think too, it might be a little bit of something that people don't necessarily think about because it's, a matter of, oh, anybody can self-publish their book. Well, you can, but you still need to have a lot of skills as far as laying out your book and your metadata and where to upload it. So I can definitely see the need for a lot of the hybrid presses and small presses too that are out there.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So can you hit us up and tell us about some of the folks that are going to be at the Kauai Writers Conference?
Well, okay. This year, we're making a special focus on poetry. Last year, we had Billy Collins. Many people know Billy because he is the most popular poet in the United States, according to almost everybody. And he had such a good time, and he added so much. We asked him if he'd like to come back, and he was eager to come back. So Billy, among his many honors, he is the two-time Poet Laureate of the United States. He was the poet that when 9/11 happened, they reached out to him and asked if he would write a poem and deliver it to both houses of Congress to reflect upon the event, which he did. He's published so many books of poetry, and has won every award that there is that a poet can win. And he combines, I would say, profundity and accessibility. Somebody said he puts the fun back in profundity.
I like that.
So Billy will be here, and it's an incredible opportunity to not just hear him read and talk, but to take a master class from him in a small group where he will help poets to improve their craft of writing poetry, a 4-day masterclass with him. We asked Billy, we seem to have more of a demand for poetry now. Who else would you recommend who's not only a great poet, but a really caring teacher of poetry? And he said, number one is Marie Howe. Marie is the state poet of New York. She's just a wonderful, lovely poet, so sensitive, so unique and genuine in how she expresses herself. So she also will be teaching a masterclass on poetry. And then we have yet a third poet, Rachel Eliza Griffiths, who is primarily a poet, but also a novelist and also a multimedia artist, will bring her own beautiful and unique take on writing poetry to the conference. Let's see, I'm just kind of, not going in no particular order. In the film and TV world, we have some people that I'm very excited about this year. We have Marta Kaufman. Marta is the creator and writer and showrunner of both Friends and Grace and Frankie, probably the two most successful long-running sitcoms in TV history. They're both, she didn't just come up with the ideas, she wrote them. She directed, showrun them. She will be teaching a 4-day masterclass called Writing Comedy for Series TV, a very specific focus. But if you're looking to do that, this would be a dream come true, to be able to spend 4 days with Marta Kaufman. We also have in that realm Chris Vogler. Chris Vogler is one of the most influential people in the whole realm of writing screenplay, stemming back to a memoir, which was expanded into a book that he wrote, about the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell's concept of the hero's journey. Chris Vogler is really the guy who made the hero's journey into the de facto template for almost all screenplays that you'll see. If you have, the concept of the hero's journey in mind, and then you go back and think about many of your favorite movies of the last 20 years, say, oh yeah, that's the story. That's the same thing over and over again, right? The hero gets called on some difficult mission. He has to leave his familiar environment. He has to go conquer all sorts of obstacles. He meets allies along the way who help him through difficulties. He gets to the destination. He does whatever needs to be done, whether it kills the bad guy or fails to kill the bad guy or finds the hidden mystery, brings it back, and is the hero once again in his tribe.
Absolutely. Let's Star Wars. Just throwing one film out there that maybe people have heard of Star Wars.
Star Wars,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
And so many other stories throughout time, all the way going back to and it has its basis in mythology, going back to Hercules, Heracles, and all of the others. They all have that same hero's journey arc.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then also in that same realm, we have Molly Ringwald, who many years ago was, America's teenage heartthrob, and is reinvented herself as an author. She's a really wonderful writer and teacher, and has so much to share about her new role as an author and giving a lot of inspiration and tips to people who are looking to make that transition into being authors. So let's see, among writers, we have the wonderful Lauren Groff. I believe she was nominated 3 times for the National Book Award. Her latest book, Matrix, her book, Florida, just a terrific writer, many people's very favorite writer of all. We have Mark Kurlansky, the renowned writer of single topic nonfiction. He writes books on things that seem to be commonplace and maybe not interesting, and find that they're some of the most fascinating things of all that you never even thought about. One book of his is called Salt. One is called Cod. One is called Paper, and many others about, things that are part of our everyday lives. He goes and finds the hidden mysteries of them and expresses them in an incredibly fascinating way. Let's see, we have Ruth Ware. Very familiar with Ruth. She's a fantastic, extremely popular writer of thrillers, often called the Agatha Christie of the current generation. We have Nicholas Delbanco, who is, I would say, probably the most experienced teacher of writing among our faculty, because in addition to having published more than 30 books, he is a lifelong teacher of writing. He founded the Bennington Writers Workshop, which he headed for many years. He was the head of the University of Michigan MFA program in creative writing. He was the chairman of the National Book Awards fiction panel. So this is a guy that really knows, what makes good writing good. We have the wonderful Meg Wolitzer, who wrote The Female Persuasion. She wrote The Wife, which was a recent movie nominated for the Academy Award. And on. There's so many.
Yeah. And just so people know that you have this amazing website, and your faculty and everybody is listed there, as well as the master classes. So when you register for the Kauai Writers Conference, you can see who's all speaking, and you can find the master classes. Because you're right, you've got everything from poetry to thrillers to, screenwriting, teleplays. It's amazing the diversity you have. I'm curious, David, what do you want to say to folks, to maybe new writers or somebody who's never gone to a writers conference? Why is it important, do you feel, for them to find their tribe and find their community and attend a writers conference?
I don't think there's just one answer to that, but I'll give you several. Writing is by its very nature a solitary act, and if you don't know other writers, if you not involved in the literary world, and you just start writing, it's a lonely and very daunting process. You're sitting there, all by yourself, writing, and not having done it before, you have to be wondering, well, is this any good? Is anybody going to like this? Is anybody going to read it? What are my chances of ever getting it published? So you will, at a conference like the Kauai Writers Conference, you will be immersed in a wonderful group of people, both attendees, the 300 to 400 people who come from all over the United States, as well as some other countries, who have all had the very same questions. And you'll be, sharing meals with them, getting to know them in your classes, and hearing everybody's story about, I had this idea for a book. I didn't know if it was any good or not. I worked at it, and lo and behold, I published it and people loved it. Or, people said, really, you could do better. So I threw it away, or I put it on the shelf, and now I'm working on my second attempt. And then you'll be among, these incredibly skilled authors who, no one is born an author. Somebody might be born into money, right? But nobody is born into knowing how to write. They were all just kids. They went through their early life experiences, and various things led them to decide to pick up a pen and write. And particularly the ones that we choose here have a heartfelt desire to help aspiring writers to say, look, I did this. I didn't think I could. I didn't know if I could, but I did. And I love it. And it's such a wonderful thing. And I'm having such a wonderful time, being an author. And there's no reason why you couldn't do it either. And let me try my best to help you.
Yeah. I mean, once upon a time, it was a lot harder to find your writing community. We didn't have the ability to go on Zoom and have conversations like this, or the writing groups that were out there weren't necessarily near us. A lot of times writers who did write in that cabin in the woods, they didn't necessarily have that sense of community. And by having writers conferences like this, where you are pulling together everybody, it really does give one not only that sense of community and that motivation, but then you realize, much to your point, that writing is not a solitary activity. You do need others behind you. You do need probably some instruction. You need editors as well. And you need people that can help you with your publishing, your marketing, your promotion. There's a lot of different pieces. And I think that another great thing that a writing conference does is it helps writers who might not be aware of all the different facets understand what's really involved on their writing journey.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're running up against the clock here, but you've mentioned that wonderful website of yours. Can you give us your details? Let people know where they can go to find the website, where they can register. I'll add really quick, David, if I may, that one, I'm very excited because I'm going to be there attending the Writers Conference. So I'm looking forward to meeting people there. And we also have an offer code that we'll give people. So if anybody wants that offer code, all they have to do is look down in the chat. We'll have it listed there so that people can use that to get 20% off when they go to your website. So can you give us the website? Give us your details where people can.
Yes, it's very simple. It's KauaiWritersConference.com. And I would, if you're at all thinking of coming, or even if you're not thinking of coming, there's so much interesting stuff on this website. Each of the authors, each of the agents, the publishers, the poets, the screenwriters are all described in detail with links through to their own websites so that you can really learn about who's coming. There's lots of great pictures. There's a bunch of different videos. It'll really give you a good feel for what you can expect if you come. So again, KauaiWritersConference.com. And I will mention that even though it seems like it's, way in the future, it's more than 5 months away, some of the classes have already filled up. Many of the hotel rooms are already taken. So some of the agents are nearly full with their calendars. So if you're thinking of coming, go to the website and check it out.
And I do believe that you do Zoom calls too with your writing community.
Yes, we have a series of online sessions every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, with mostly authors talking about the craft of writing and their particular approach to it. It's an incredible resource. If you sign up for that, not only do you see the each week's live session, but there's an archive of all the past sessions. At this point, there's, I think, about 120 sessions, each of an hour and a half. So it's like an MFA program, I would say you can learn as much from this online series, including the archives of past sessions, as you might from, enrolling in a program at a college. because the people who are teaching it are, many of the best in the country.
It really is an outstanding website, so well put together, and the faculty and people who are attending is fabulous. And David, I just got to say thank you for what you do. You're an amazing director. This is just an incredible undertaking, and happy anniversary, because you're celebrating your 10th anniversary as well, aren't you?
That's right. Yes, this is the 10th year of the Kauai Writers Conference. We aim to make it the biggest and best yet. There will be some amazing special guests who we haven't announced yet, but will. Trust me, you'll be blown away by who's coming. And
I love it.
One other thing I'd mention, if people have questions and they're thinking of coming, but they don't know if it's right for them, or they're wondering what class to take, you'll see right on the website that we offer phone consultations. No cost, no obligation or anything, where you can set an appointment to call, speak to someone, and have your questions answered by somebody who's really knowledgeable.
Excellent. And once again, we do have a 20% off offer code that we will put down in the comments. Also, David, you're going to be joining us at the Book Fest coming up in October. That's right before your event. So we'll be doing some collaborating on that when you come and speak for us. And I cannot wait, David Katz, to meet you in person at the
Desiree, thank you so much. I think this is a wonderful partnership. I'm so glad that we're working together.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Once again, David Katz with the Kauai Writers Conference here on the Books That Make You show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And you can find out more on our website. It's booksthatmakeyou.com. You can also follow on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, all of my bookish buddies, please enjoy all of the books that make you exactly who you are.
The host and executive producer of the Books That Make You show is Desiree Duffy. Sound mastering and engineering by Dave Napox. Social media and content promotion by Siddhi Jahagirdar. Copywriting and editing by Mike Robinson. The Books That Make You show is an award-winning podcast produced by Black Chateau Enterprises.